I just watched the Khabib versus Conor McGregor fight. I'm huge in MSC, UFC. I love mixed martial arts. I studied Taekwondo for a while, and I studied other forms of karate and different things. And I understand how it goes a little bit, how it works. When you're fighting a wrestler, that's what Khabib was, basically a wrestler. He's like the pro wrestler. He's really good at wrestling. When you're fighting a wrestler, you have to use Taekwondo type kicks to keep them away, keep the distance, and you can't let them get close to you, and you can't let them get you up against the wall. And McGregor honestly made a lot of mistakes in this fight that I just watched that happened last night. He let him get close to him, get inside, and he wasn't kicking enough. He should have used more kicks, more high kicks, more spinning kicks. He should have done all that type of shit. He should have won the fight with kicks, but he was trying to box him. And you can't really box a wrestler, because wrestlers know how to box a little bit. They're not the best at it, but they box well enough to get inside, to get close enough for you to grab you and pick you up and throw you down, or get you up against the cage. And in cage fighting, that's the weapons that they use. They use a little bit of boxing, and they come forward, or maybe you'll come at them with boxing and you'll get them back into the cage, but then they just grab you and spin you back around and throw you up into the cage, and they use that like a wall, and they put you between a wall and a hard place, them being the hard place and the wall being the cage. And Conor got gassed a little bit in this fight, man. I'm a huge Conor fan. I'm a huge Khabib fan too. I don't really like the way he fights. I think it's almost like cheating. He basically mastered how to cheat in UFC. And if Conor, he didn't really go all out in my opinion. He's way better at Taekwondo type kicking than he really shows it. He comes out like a boxer, and I used to play Street Fighter a lot. And the boxer in Street Fighter was Balrog, and the wrestler was Khabib. And whenever I played Street Fighter, I always played with Ken, who was fast, and he was a karate, mostly art. That was his art that he studied. He was a master of karate arts and a little bit of Taekwondo, if you ask me. But when I fought Balrog as Ken, you have to do jumping kicks and different things. You can't box a boxer, and you can't box a wrestler. When I used to fight Zangief with Ken, I would always jump in the air and kick him when he was trying to throw punches, or whenever he came near me, I would try and trip him or kick his legs or kick him in the head or kick him in his ribs. You have to kick. You have to use a lot of kicks. When I played Ken, I would always use my kicking techniques until I got close enough to take you down and come with that super uppercut, basically. But I don't think he played it. I don't think he played the fight very well. I don't think he played it out very well. I think he just tried to box a wrestler. And like I said, when you box a wrestler, they're just going to keep coming forward at you until they get you down. And that's, I don't know. I don't like how McGregor went through this fight, man. I mean, you just can't box a wrestler straight up, man. So I don't know what happened after the fight. I'm trying to watch the footage, but it's all restricted on YouTube. They're not letting anybody see it. They're trying to hide it, basically. And they didn't give that guy the title. They didn't give Khabib the title, which is interesting, because it's like, what are they going to do? Are they going to just try to say, like, somehow with his antics after the fight, like he didn't win or something? I don't know. They didn't give him his paycheck. I know that. They paid Conor. But Khabib, I think where Khabib fucked up is at the end of the fight, when the fight's over, the fight's over. This is not a street fight. This is not Street Fighter. When the licensed fight, the regulated fight is over, it's over. And after he choked him out, he should have just stayed still, choked him out, let McGregor get up. He should have got up, went back to his corner, let Conor go back to his corner, and he should have kept his cool, but he kind of blew this whole thing out of proportion and kind of blew it up, and now he's going to have fines and regulations and all kind of heat coming at him now, because at the very end, he wasn't ready to end it. He wanted to jump over the cage and face all of his Conor's team and all this stuff, and he kind of blew it, man. I mean, he did everything perfect up until that point, until he got back up and jumped over that fence, and there should have been more security there anyways. Let's try to stop him from even doing that. I don't know why. This is hundreds of millions of dollars that goes into these fights, and they don't have enough bodyguards to stop people from doing stupid shit. They should have had people there to stop him from even doing that. But they've, in a way, UFC fucked up on that. They shouldn't have let him go near his team. Maybe they need to put like a lid over the cage or something, make the cage 30 feet high. I don't know, but you shouldn't be able to just jump out of that cage right away because your adrenaline's pumping so much. It's like you want to kill somebody. You know, you're in a war zone in that cage, and when it's over, it takes a while to calm down. And that dude was not ready to calm down. Khabib was not ready to calm down. He was ready. He was wanting to keep killing, and he just killed his opponent. And then he went off and tried to kill some more opponents right away. And I feel bad for that guy in a way, man. He kind of just lost his cool when it really mattered. But in my opinion, did he win? Yes. And I hope he gets the title. And I hope he doesn't get sanctioned. And I hope he doesn't get put on like hold, or how they freeze the fighters or they can't fight anymore or something like that. I really do believe he won that match, but I don't like the way he handled it at the end. He won that match honorably, but at the end he handled it unhonorably, and now he's going to be heavily criticized for that. So just know, guys, if you get into a fight, if you get into a street fight, it's never really over until you leave the scene or the cops come and you get arrested or something like that. But hopefully you can get out of there before that happens. But when the fight's over, just I don't know anything about really professional fighting, but what he should have done is he should have just stood up, bowed, and regained his fucking cool and just got the belt and put his hand up in the air. I'm the winner. If not, that would have been all fine and dandy, man. But he fucked it up a little bit. But you know, that was a very personal fight that those guys are going through. They had personal beef with this fight. This is not a professional fight. In a way, it's more personal than professional. So, I don't know, see what happens, dude. I hope McGregor comes back, too, and if there's a rematch, I hope they make it happen, but I can't stress enough, I don't know why there's not enough security at these things. I don't know why that... It's not like they don't have enough money in it, you know, but it is what it is, man. The UFC is going to keep growing, and this whole thing is turning to a circus, if you ask me. I wish fighters would stay composed. During the fight, before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight, I wish they would compose themselves a little bit better. That's what I wish would happen. And then we wouldn't have too much drama and people throwing dollies at buses and shit. Because McGregor is guilty of that shit too. So, I don't like all that weird antic shit, this wrestling shit. Let's not turn this into wrestling. And also, let's not turn UFC fighting into wrestling. I don't know why UFC got into wrestling. But Khabib's a master wrestler and he's undefeated. So... I don't know, but if you're a future UFC fighter and you want to fucking fight this guy, I hope you learn how to start doing some jumping roundhouse kicks and start watching Jean-Claude Van Damme or something, because that's the only way you're going to defeat this guy. Not by playing it safe. Psh.